Sorry this video is a little late, guys. I would have talked about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to kind of get some of the details out there and try to get the story correct to you guys. So, Amy Pascal has officially left Sony for Universal. Although, it's not as bad as you think, but it is bad. So let's get into the details here. So for a lot of you that don't know, Amy Pascal runs things over at Sony, or was running things to a bigger degree than a lot of people, give her credit for. She, of course, had Pascal Pictures, which you saw with, like, the likes of Spider-Verse, right? And obviously, she got an Oscar under her now for that movie and everything, so it's kind of a big deal. She's been in the industry for about 30 years, so she's made quite an impact on there, even if most of us only know her with the whole Spider-Man thing. Some of her biggest achievements was, of course, like Disney, that deal. It was her and Kevin Feige that hashed out that deal between all the suits, and that's why we got Spidey in the MCU and, the Sony universe moving the way it is. She was responsible for the Spider-Verse, so there's a lot to her, and she took this Universal deal, so she's leaving Sony. At the same time, she's remaining at Sony to the duration of certain contracts. This is commonplace. Some of these are the Spider-Man contracts. Now, we don't know how long, she signed on for. It could be a year. It could be 3 years. Most likely a 5-year deal she signed. So let's say realistically that started right when the MCU thing happened. She's probably got at least 2 to 3 years max left on her Sony deal, which means she will be involved in executive producing these things, but after that, somebody's taking over. It's either going to go to Tom Rothman or Avi Arad. We know how I feel about Avi Arad, and I've talked about how I feel about Rothman, so it's not a good outlook, but realistically, we don't have anything to worry about yet. She will be in hand on this, but at the same time, this is where things get interesting, because she's not the one negotiating things with Marvel Studios anymore. It's going to be whoever is going to be her successor that has to take over. And with Bob Iger, on his way out in about 2 years from Disney, because he's staying through the end of 2021 to make sure that transition goes properly. Her leaving that Sony position, things are going to be into a rather interesting shakeup. And for right now, we know she's really interested in staying with Marvel Studios, but who knows what the next guy is going to feel like. So we're safe for now, and everything's going to keep spinning the way it does. But realistically, things could get a little bit shaky, and that's unfortunate. So, we'll find out soon how this goes, but, be optimistic that it's going to work out for everybody's, favor so far.